Hello, this is Matthew Chand of extortionletterinfo.com of the Eli Project, and I want to thank you for taking the time to watch this video. This video that I'm going to make, that I'm going to talk about, was sort of unplanned, and I'm taking this opportunity to do the video simply because today I was doing a series of other videos that I felt really needed to be done, and since I'm already dressed up, and I already got the cameras rolling, I decided I'd just go ahead and push forward, seeing as it's it's pretty rare that I get on the video camera nowadays. The one thing I want to talk about is somewhat of a touchy issue, and it's something that I've sort of talked about on the forums, and it has to do with filing complaints regarding against attorneys. Now, the thing about it is, Eli has evolved over the years. Obviously, I work with Oscar Michelin, and I work with him very closely. And I think we have a very good working relationship. I think we have a mutual respect for each other. And, he can do things that I can't do. And as a publisher and being a non-lawyer, I can do things that he can't do. And one of the things that I'm a big proponent of is that when you're fighting somebody, you have to change the rules of the game. Okay, and I'm going to tell you that I've had personal experience with legal encounters. Look, I've gotten traffic tickets, in the past. Okay, I've had to deal with evictions, with problem tenants, and the like. And so I've had to go to court a number of times. Now, I've also been on the internet a number of years. I've had to deal with bad book reviews. I've had to deal with lies made up about me. I've dealt with different things, and one of the things that I've learned is that when you fight, you can't simply say that I'm going to always get a lawyer, or I'm going to throw a lawsuit and things along those lines, simply because it's unaffordable, and there's a limit to how far the court system can do. It's slow, it has its place, but it's not it doesn't solve anything. And fortunately, with the internet, we have a power that didn't exist 15 years ago, and it's the power of communication. And so that's one of the reasons why Eli was started, is so that I can communicate with the community, and the community can communicate with each other and share information. So, and one of the things I don't appreciate, okay, are lawyers that have a big head, okay, and they've been able to throw their weight around for years, and they always go around thunking people over a lawsuit. And you know what? It gets old. All right, it gets really, really old. And I'm going to tell you, I have a suspicion that many of you don't much care for some of these lawyer tactics, especially those of you who've got extortion letters. Now, the thing about it is, to a certain degree, they are doing their jobs. Okay. So let me be clear about that. They are doing their jobs, okay? And they're doing it based on their client. But having said that, no one ever forces a lawyer to take a case. So to some degree, when a lawyer takes on a case, they bear both the pros and cons of associating with that case. So if they want to take on a case with with sleazy people, then guess what? Some of that sleaze will get on top of them. And also, I believe that there is a decorum and a way of interacting with others as a lawyer. And lawyers have rules that they have to follow. It was something they chose to do. If they don't like the rules, they shouldn't be a lawyer. Okay? And one of those things is they agree not to lie. Okay? They don't get to misrepresent. They don't get to make threats that they can't keep. Alright, and when they step over the boundaries, I personally feel you're allowed to make a complaint. Now, whether or not your complaint ever gets heard or gets followed up on is a whole different story. But I feel that if you've got a legitimate beef, you have a right to complain. And one of those things is being able to file a complaint with the state bar and filing with the Attorney General's office. Now, I have said, if you read my writings real carefully, I tell people, don't do this trivially. I mean, don't just do this just to do it. I mean, you do it because you truly believe in the complaint. You really feel it's wrong. You really feel that the lawyer has overstepped their boundaries. Okay? And you do it responsibly. And And I talk this particular example has to do with Timothy McCormick. I think that's the only person I've really recommended that, because I just found his extortion letter just outrageous. It was just outrageous. I mean, it was on the verge of basically lying, is in my view. So I know the lawyer's going to say, oh, he's not a lawyer and he was allowed to do it. And that's fine. That's your opinion. You go make your own video. Okay? I'm making my video, and you know what? I have my own opinion. And the fact of the matter is, in that letter, he basically says he criminalizes the behavior. And I will tell anybody, and I will stand by it, that there's also that the copyright law regarding the criminal part of it was intended for people who had these massive, it's like you have a factory where you're mass producing images or movies, CDs, DVDs for a profit. That's where it gets to the criminal. Not because you use a stinking image, whether it was, even if it was intentional, okay? That is not coming close to a criminal act. And that's just my opinion. You can go take counsel from wherever you want. And when he starts talking about the criminalization of that sort of set me off. And plus, I'm fairly fed up about seeing these letters that says $150,000. Okay? When the fact of the matter is, a lot of these cases have come in far, far lower. So, I guess for some reason that letter just really set me out. It was just violated too many things. It was on the verge of lying, in my opinion. And I said, that's that. Okay, now there's other extortion letters that I'm not too fond of. And, if you read what I have to say, you'll know I'm not too fond of. But I stand by the fact that state bar complaints stand. Now, more than likely, because they're staffed by other lawyers, they probably won't go too far. But, at least you get your complaint in, it gets heard, they're supposed to respond to it. And that's the deal. I think, as a free society, we have a right to complain, and as long as we do it responsibly, and more importantly, you sign your name to it. See, that's the little beef I have. That's my little pet peeve of mine. A lot of people want to complain, but because they don't want to sign their name to it. Well, unfortunately, you can't have it both ways. You can't complain about it and not sign your name to it. So, in any case, I did want to sort of clear that issue up regarding some of my more extravagant so-called recommendations. I stand by them. Okay, read the context. I tell people to be responsible, and it's my opinion. And those people that don't like it, maybe you can show your face, sign your name to it, and people can weigh it out whether or not they want to listen to you or not. Thank you for listening to this video.